You've already found someone new just 3 months after breaking up? You've even got a kid now, yet you're accompanying your best friend to her prenatal checkup, only to find that she's taken a fancy to the attending physician. To hide the fact that she was pregnant, she lied and said it was me who was pregnant. As soon as I stepped out the door, I ran into my ex-boyfriend, whom I'd just broken up with 3 months ago. The man, clad in a white lab coat, silently glanced at my stomach for a moment before calmly walking away. I thought he really didn't care at all, but that very night I received a message from someone that completely threw him off balance. You've already found someone new just 3 months after breaking up. And you even have a kid now. You really are something. You still have some things of yours left with me. Come pick them up sometime. It's not that I want to see you. It's just that these things are really quite distracting. Why aren't you responding? Are you spending time with your new flame? Could you please stop looking for him? Let's take a photo. ABS photo. This is the shortest workout I've ever done. Is his physique as good as mine? Does he have 6 minus back ABS too? Please don't ignore me, let's get back together. Seriously, don't look elsewhere. I wouldn't recommend anyone else for your child. Did treat them just like my own. Don't leave me. Me. How fast is love in the adult world? I accompanied my best friend to the obstetrics and gynecology clinic for a checkup. The second before, she had been immersed in sadness over her breakup with her boyfriend and anxiety about her sudden pregnancy. The next second, she had already taken a liking to her attending physician. So, poor me, being the victim of her resentment, was forced to take the blame for her pregnancy. I was still dazed and confused all the way until my best friend pulled me out of there. As soon as I stepped out the door, I ran into my ex-boyfriend, whom I'd just broken up with a month ago. Can anyone tell me why a neurologist would be standing at the door of the obstetrics and gynecology department? When Ji Cheng saw me, a fleeting look of surprise crossed his indifferent face, but he quickly regained his composure afterward. Just as he was about to speak, the attending physician behind me came out and handed me the physical examination report I'd forgotten to pick up. She also reminded me once again about the precautions to take during pregnancy. When he saw Ji Cheng, he smiled clearly. The two knew each other. Who would have thought that Ji Cheng didn't respond to him at all, but instead turned his head to look at me, his eyebrows tightly furrowed. Are you pregnant? His tone carried a hint of surprise. Yet, for some reason, I also detected a subtle note of anticipation in it. It originally intended to explain everything clearly, but my best friend, Lin King, gave me a sharp pinch from the side, signaling that the attending doctor was still there and urging me not to give myself away. I nodded reluctantly, and immediately afterward, the joy in the man's eyes grew even brighter. Fine. It's even harder to explain now. Do you two know each other? The attending physician standing nearby spoke up. She's only 1 month pregnant, and the fetal condition isn't stable yet. As her friends, you really need to take good care of her. The attending physician's words struck like a bolt of lightning, leaving Ji Cheng utterly flustered, burnt on the outside but still raw within. The surprise in his eyes vanished completely, replaced by disbelief and gloom. 1 month. He squeezed out the 3 words almost through clenched teeth, his gaze shifting from anger to sorrow and finally, to utter devastation. The reason is simple. We broke up 2 months ago, and during that time we've never seen each other again, let alone had any kind of relationship. Moonchild. You've got it all wrong. Seeing Ji Cheng lying before me, his body almost torn apart, my first reaction was to grab Lin King and run as fast as we could. It wasn't until I was sitting in the car that I started breathing heavily. Lin King was laughing so hard she could hardly catch her breath, patting my shoulder with tears welling up in the corners of her eyes. Did you see Ji Cheng's expression just now? I felt like he was about to fall apart. I lightly slapped her face, my expression filled with resentment. It's all your fault now. I can't even explain it clearly anymore. My mind is filled with the lonely look in his eyes just now. Didn't he agree pretty readily when you brought up breaking up earlier? And during the relationship, he was always aloof and indifferent toward you. but just now he didn't seem at all like someone who'd moved on. Maybe you should reconsider? I was taken aback by Lin King's words, but in the end, I managed to compose myself. Let's just forget it, we're not a good match. Being with Ji Chang is the result of my year minus long efforts. Our encounter and King's situation are actually quite similar. 2 years ago, right after I graduated from college, the pressure of starting my career was overwhelming, so much so that I gradually developed neurasthenia. I'm exhausted during the day, yet I still can't fall asleep at night. My whole self is on the verge of losing it. At the dual recommendation of my friends and family, I went to see a neurologist. Ji Chang is my attending physician. Do you believe in love at first sight? Anyway, I don't believe it because I'm just being attracted to the sight of it. The moment I locked eyes with his cold, ascetic face, I felt as though it'd been purified. Later, I started flirting with people while undergoing treatment, and once I recovered, I kept pursuing them nonstop. After a year of hard work, I finally won this rare and exquisite prize. But after we got together, Ji Chang's attitude toward me remained neither warm nor cold. If we weren't together in the first place, I could kind of understand, but now that HES already agreed to be my boyfriend, why does he still keep such a galaxy-wide distance from me? After being together for nearly a year, we've even counted on one hand the number of times we've kissed. Because of my previous nervous exhaustion, I left my company during treatment and became a full-time novelist, spending a lot of time at home every day. But just when I finally managed to wait for him after work and was eager for a hug and a kiss, his face full of exhaustion dissuaded me. On weekdays, HED always be called away by a phone call from the hospital for his date. I've been thinking about the breakup for a long time. Although I really like him, I'm not happy in this relationship. The initial excitement of finally winning him over has passed, and I'm not actually desperate to have him. When I broke up with him, he remained remarkably calm, simply and calmly expressing that he respected my decision. Thinking it over from the moment we first met to the time we finally broke up, he always seemed remarkably calm to the point where I began to feel as though nothing in this world could possibly stir his emotions. But today his reaction clearly exceeded my expectations. When I got home in the evening, I stared at the row of unread messages on my phone, reluctant to open them. The messages kept popping up incessantly, giving me such a headache that I simply turned off my phone altogether. The next day, I was awakened by the sound of the doorbell. I opened the door with my hair a complete mess, and there he was, Ji Chang, standing in the doorway. He has a faint dark circle under his eyes right now, making him look as if he hasn't slept all night. When he saw me, his eyes lit up briefly, but then immediately dimmed again. His gaze fell upon my belly, carrying an emotion I couldn't quite decipher. I felt creeped out by his gaze and instinctively clutched my stomach, frowning. How did you get here? His Adam's apple bobbed, and his voice was hoarse. I'm here to bring you something. I just remembered HED told me earlier to come pick up something. So I turned sideways to let him in. He was carrying a large suitcase and a thermos. I've packed everything for you, and he handed over the thermos. I bought you breakfast. I looked at the thermos and felt a bit uneasy inside. Ji Chang, we've broken up, I reminded him. His hand froze mid-monosyllable, his gaze instantly dimming, and his voice carried a barely perceptible note of hurt. I know. But he paused for a moment, then looked at my belly and said, "A child. Those kids aren't yours." I instinctively interrupted him. As soon as the words left my mouth, I regretted it. Didn't that just confirm the fact that I'm pregnant? Sure enough, Ji Chang's face turned even paler. He looked at me, his eyes filled with pain and confusion. Zhang Ruaning, we've only been broken up for 2 months. Seeing him in this state, I felt deeply uncomfortable too, and could only force myself to say, yes, it was before we broke up. I can't even keep writing anymore. Ji Chang's body swayed slightly. He took a deep breath as if struggling hard to hold back something. So, you'd already planned to break up with me, huh? His voice was low, tinged with a slight tremor. I bit my lip, not knowing how to respond. He looked at me, his gaze gradually growing colder and colder and colder, until finally only utter silence remained. I got it. He put down his suitcase and thermos, then turned around and walked away. Looking at his lonely back, my heart felt as if it had been pierced by a needle. I wanted to call out to him, but in the end I still didn't say a word. After he left, I opened the thermos, and inside was the century egg and lean pork congee that I used to love most. My eyes instantly turned red. What on earth am I doing? Since Ji Cheng came by, he hasn't sent me any messages, nor has he ever come looking for me again. After Lin King found out about this, she scolded me for being spineless. Holland, you just tell him clearly. Just looking at it makes me feel so sorry for him. I sighed and said, "What do you mean? Yuri saying the child is yours, and I'm just the one taking the blame. Wouldn't that just make things even more messed up? Better than the way things are now?" "At least," Lin King said, frustrated and exasperated, looking at Ji Chang's attitude. "It's obvious he still likes you. Back then, he just didn't know how to cherish you, but now that he is finally realizing his mistake, it's only fitting that he should taste what it feels like to lose you." I was moved by what she said, but I still couldn't bring myself to make the first move. "Forget it. Let's just leave it at that." But I never expected that Ji Cheng would reappear before me in such a way. That day, I went to the hospital for a follow-up checkup and happened to accompany Lin King to her prenatal checkup. As soon as I stepped into the hospital lobby, I was stopped by a woman. The woman was dressed elegantly. Her makeup was perfectly applied, and the look in her eyes held undisguised hostility toward me. "Are you Zhang Ruoning?" I frowned and said, "I am. Is there something wrong?" "I'm Su W. Anking, Ji Chang's childhood sweetheart," she said, lifting her chin with a hint of superiority. "I know you're carrying another man's child, but I'd advise you to stay away from Ji Chang. He is suffering terribly right now. Don't torment him any further." Her words made me laugh. "Ji Chang and I have already broken up. As for what happened between us, it's none of your business to interfere." "Break up?" Su W. Anking sneered. "If they've broken up, why is he still looking lost and distraught every single day? He's been losing sleep and zoning out because of you. I nearly made a mistake on the operating table. Zhang Ruoning. Just what kind of mind-altering potion have you slipped into Ji Chang's drink?" I was stunned. "Ching, you almost made a mistake because of me." Su W. Anking looked at me with a hint of disdain in her eyes. "I know you've been chasing Ji Chang for a long time, and now that you finally got him, you're just trying to keep him hanging on, aren't you? But don't forget, you're pregnant now. As for other people's children, even if Ji Chang liked you more than anything, he'd never accept you being with someone else's child." Her words felt like a knife piercing my heart. I looked at her and said, word by word, "I'm not pregnant, and it has nothing to do with Ji Chang. I've already ended things with him. And besides, you don't need to interfere in what's going on between Ji Chang and me." After finishing speaking, I walked around her and headed straight for the obstetrics and gynecology department. Just as I reached the entrance of the obstetrics and gynecology department, I ran into Ji Chang. He was wearing a white lab coat and a mask, and the dark circles under his eyes were even more pronounced than last time, looking noticeably more haggard. When he saw me, his gaze first froze in surprise, then unconsciously shifted to my belly, before finally averting his eyes again. His expression now deeply complex. The attending physician standing beside him, the one who treated Lin King, greeted her with a smile. "Miss Zhang, are you here for another follow-up visit?" Upon hearing this, Ji Chang's body stiffened momentarily, and the pain in his eyes deepened even further. I looked at him, and a wave of bitterness washed over my heart. I'm here with a friend," I said, forcing myself to sound calm. Lin King came out from inside, took my arm in a quick embrace, and said with a smile to the attending physician, "Doctor, we're heading out now. After finishing speaking, she took my hand and led me out. As I passed by Ji Chang, he suddenly grabbed my wrist. His hands were very cold, yet his grip was surprisingly strong. Zhang Ruaning, his voice was low and slightly hoarse. He wanted to say something, but couldn't bring himself to speak it. I looked at him, and a wave of sadness washed over me. Ji Chang, let go. His hand clenched suddenly, and his eyes were filled with pleading. Don't go. My heart softened in an instant. Just then, Su W. Anking walked over, linked her arm with Ji Chang's, and looked at me with a challenging smile. Ji Chang, she said, we'd better go. Our director is still waiting for us to start the meeting. Ji Chang frowned, trying to push her away, but Su W. Anking only held on tighter. Ji Chang, don't let work get delayed, Su W. Anking said with a smile, yet her eyes kept fixed on me. Ji Chang looked at me, his eyes filled with struggle and pain, but in the end, he still let go of my hand. I watched his back as he left together with Su W. Anking, and my heart felt utterly empty. Lin King shouted from the side that Su W. Anking really went too far. She clearly did it on purpose, and Ji Chang, how could he just walk off with her like that? I shook my head and forced back tears. Forget it, let's just go. I thought Ji Chang was together with Su W. Anking, and I felt an indescribable sense of discomfort in my heart. That night, I received another text message from Ji Chang. He stopped sending those random, nonsensical messages and sent just one sentence. She's just a colleague of mine, don't overthink it. I looked at that text message, my heart filled with mixed emotions. I want to reply to him, but I don't know what to say. A little while later, he sent another message. Child. Whose is it? I stared at that text message and finally couldn't help replying to him. Ji Chan, we've already broken up. My business has nothing to do with you anymore. After I finished sending it, I turned off my phone. The next day, I was awakened by a series of urgent knocks on the door. Opening the door, Ji Chang stood in the doorway, his face pale and his eyes bloodshot. Zhang Ruaning, why aren't you responding to my messages? He grabbed my arm tightly, his voice stinging with urgency and panic. I looked at him, feeling a surge of irritation. Ji Chang, we've already broken up. Could you please just stop coming to see me? Break up? He looked at me, his eyes filled with hurt. Zhang Ruaning, you just break up without a second thought, and then decide not to contact me anymore. Have you ever considered how I feel? Your feelings? I couldn't help but laugh at him. When I was chasing after you, you weren't either cold nor warm toward me when we were together. You always acted as if none of it had anything to do with you, and when we broke up, you didn't even say a single word to try to hold on. Now you're suddenly talking to me about your feelings? Ji Chang, where the hell were you all this time? He was taken aback by my question, his eyes filled with confusion and helplessness. You don't like me at all, you're just unwilling to accept it. I looked at him and said, word by word, Ji Chang, stop fooling yourself. It's over between us already. He looked at me, his gaze gradually growing darker until finally, all that remained was utter silence. Okay, I got it. He let go of my arm and turned around to walk away. Watching his lonely back, my tears finally couldn't be held back any longer. What on earth am I doing? Even though I still like him, I keep pushing him away anyway. Lin King is right. I'm just a hopeless case. Ji Chang never came looking for me again, nor did he ever send me a message. I thought that's how it would end between us. It wasn't until half a month later that Lin King's child was born. I went to the hospital to see her, and as soon as I stepped into the ward, I saw Ji Chang. He was wearing a white lab coat and talking to Lin King as attending physician. When he saw me, his eyes lit up briefly and quickly dimmed again. Lin King greeted me with a smile. Ming, you're here. Come take a look at my baby. I walked over and gazed at the tiny infant trapped in swaddling clothes. My heart melted at the sight. So cute. The attending physician smiled and said, yes, both mother and daughter are safe and very healthy. Ji Cheng stood to the side, watching the baby with a mix of emotions in his eyes. Lin King suddenly spoke up after Eve. Gee, I'm really sorry about last time. I've caused you to misunderstand. Actually, it was me who was pregnant. Ning Ning was just helping me cover for her. Ji Cheng suddenly looked up at me, his eyes filled with shock and disbelief. What did you say? Lin King explained the whole story from beginning to end. As she spoke, Ji Cheng's eyes gradually lit up. Finally, he looked at me, his eyes filled with ecstatic joy and disbelief. Zhengruo, you're not pregnant? I looked at him and nodded him. No. His body swayed slightly, as if Hed finally breathed a sigh of relief. Then he quickly walked up to me and gave me a tight hug. Great. His voice trembled as he said, I knew you wouldn't lie to me. I was being held so tightly that I could hardly breathe, and all I could do was pat his back, saying, Ji Cheng, please let me go first. He let go of me and looked at me, his eyes filled with the joy of having regained something lost and also with guilt. I'm sorry, Ning Ning. I'm sorry I was good to you before. I shouldn't have treated you that way. Stop talking, I interrupted him. It's all in the past. We're not over. He grabbed my hand, his eyes filled with determination. Ning Ning, let's get back together, okay? I'll treat you right from now on. I'll never let you feel hurt again. I looked at him, and a wave of hesitation washed over me. Ji Cheng? I know you're still mad at me. I can wait for you to forgive me. Wait for you to be willing to get back together with me. He looked at me, his eyes filled with pleading. Please don't push me away again. Okay? Seeing him like this, the defenses in my heart completely crumbled. Okay. I nodded. His eyes lit up in an instant, and he pulled me tightly into his arms as if he were trying to merge me completely into his very bones and blood. Thank you. Ning Ning, thank you for being willing to give me another chance. Everyone else in the ward was smiling at us. And Lin King teased them aside. Hey, you're finally back on good terms? I finally accomplished my mission. I felt my face flush right at her words. But Ji Cheng just hugged me, laughing like a child. Later, I realized that Ji Cheng didn't dislike me, he just didn't know how to express it. He used to seem indifferent, but actually that's just how he was raised, uncomfortable expressing his emotions. When I was pursuing him, he wasn't indifferent, he just couldn't believe that anyone could like him so much.